Hello, what's your name?
Dr. Curtis Hoffman.
And where are we?
We are at the Robbins Museum of Archaeology,
And what's today's date?
May 22nd, 2013.
And what would you like to show us today about?
Well, it's standing in front of a display of artifacts from a site in the town of Middleborough called the Little League site. This has been under excavation by my students under my direction since 2006, actually 1996. And we have found quite a lot of information from this site about the way in which Native Americans were living over thousands of years.
And are these the artifacts from the
These
Little
are
League
some
site?
of the artifacts from the Little League site.
And what can you tell us about them?
This is an unusual site for the reason that we find large quantities of material that were used and distributed for ceremonies.
And what kind of ceremonies?
We don't really know what kinds of ceremonies would have been involved, but the kinds of artifacts involved would include stones used for pigments, red, black, and yellow.
And what were pigments used? How were they found?
They could have been used for face paint. We also know that the red pigment, the hematite, was ground up and sprinkled over the bodies of the dead. So there are a number of different uses for these pigments. We also have a large number of pebbles that have been highly polished, more than you would get from river polish.
And what is the conjecture about what polished, or what is a theory about what?
Well, one idea is that these things could have been used for divination. That is, you take a handful of them and cast them out and see in what configurations they landed.
Mm-hmm.
Another sort of thing that we have quite a lot of are quartz crystals.
And
These could have been used also for scrying or divination.
can quartz be used for fire starting?
No, not really.
And how about, could any of these be gaming?
Not likely, no. And among the quartz crystals, we have a small number that are what we call Herkimer diamonds. These are not really diamonds, but they are quartz that grows in both directions, so it has points at both ends.
And why is a Herkimer diamond important?
They are not very frequently found. They're found only in certain types of stone formations, and the nearest ones to here are upstate New York, near Herkimer, New York. So these things would have been brought a very long distance to get to this site. We have about 15 of these altogether, which is quite unusual. There are no other sites that I know of that have more than one.
And what could a Herkimer diamond be used for?
Probably the same as a quartz crystal, except that they're a little more special, being pointed at both ends.
Uh-huh. And
We also have pendants, which are located over here. These could have been strung on rawhide and used for ornamentation, either around the neck or as ear pieces, but we have a large number of these also. So these are the kinds of things that you generally associate with ceremony.
and what are the age of these objects generally?
They range in age from around 8,000 to 1,000 years ago.
And were there any hunting tools or
Yes,
other?
there are plenty of that over in these cases over here. So we have knives, we have scrapers, we have points, the sorts of things that you would ordinarily expect to find at a habitation site where hunting and gathering and food preparation and hide preparation was going on. And that's, as I said, what you would usually find at sites. What's unusual about this site is the vast quantity of these ceremonial goods, which is not duplicated at other sites that I know of. And you might find a few, but not thousands of them.
And if someone wanted to come to visit this site here at the Robbins, what days are you open?
We're open Wednesdays from 10 to 4 and Saturdays from 10 to 2.
And what town are you located?
We're in the town of Middleborough, and we're near the center of town by the police station.
Great, thank you very much for your information about the Little League site in Middleborough, Mass.
Okay, thank you.